season gets started, one of the key things that you need to do is figure out what events you want to try. Now, quick heads up, you're going to need to pick 2 events in order to compete. Could be a debate event and a speaking event, or 2 speaking events, but everyone on the team needs to do at least 2 events. So let's do a quick overview. Let's start with debate. There's 4 different styles of debate. A lot of people like to start with what we call parliamentary debate. Now, parliamentary can also be called impromptu style debate because you're getting your topics 15 minutes before the round starts. In that 15 minutes, you and your partner, because it's a 2-on-2, you and a partner versus another partnership. In that 15 minutes, you are writing your case. You are putting together all the reasons to prove the resolution either true or false. And you are doing it all just right then and there. So you've got to know your current events and you've got to know what's going on with the things going on in the news so that you can write your events and sound educated while doing it. Next up is going to be public forum. Public forum is also a 2 versus 2 competitor style event. The big difference here is that the speeches are a lot shorter in nature. Each person speaks twice during the round, so there's kind of some different roles within the round. And you know your topic ahead of time. Topics will change throughout the season, so you'll have a chance to learn about different things, but you'll write your cases before the tournament starts, both AF and neg, affirmative and negative. So you'll be writing 2 different cases. You can argue both sides of the coin here, just in a slightly shorter type of format. And then if you want to try just one-on-one style debate, you can go with Lincoln Douglas debate. Lincoln Douglas is value debating with, again, just one-on-one. So if you don't have to worry about a partner and what they're saying and do everything yourself, you can try Lincoln Douglas. That's also pre-prepared, so you know your topics ahead of time. You can write your cases before the tournament starts and go in prepared with those. Now, some people have questions about what's called policy debate or cross-ex. There's different names for it. This is much more of an advanced version of debate. So I highly discourage newcomers from trying it. A lot of people talk really, really fast. They use the biggest words they possibly can. It can be really intimidating for newcomers. So definitely start with parliamentary or public forum or LD to get a sense of debate and how it works before doing some of the more advanced events. Next, we get to the platform speaking events. First up is informative speaking. Informative is a 10-minute presentation that you write ahead of the tournament. In this event, it's kind of like teaching or giving a business presentation. You're just educating people about whatever topic is of interest to you. One of the fun things about Inform is that also use what we call boards or visual aids to help visually share information about whatever topic it is. Topics range all over the board. It's really just whatever is interesting to you that you're going to want to share with others. Next is going to be oratory. Oratory is just a good classic speech. Also 10 minutes, pre-prepared, pre-written by you. It's memorized, so you've got to factor that into the equation. And in oratory, you're advocating for some sort of a cause. You're wanting to change people's opinions about that cause and really using your public speaking to give people some additional insight that maybe they hadn't thought of before. Again, you're advocating for a cause, advocating to really help change people's minds. Topics are all over the place, but it's just a great 10-minute classic speech. Next up is after dinner speaking, or we call it ADS. ADS is a 6-minute speech. It's a speech on a regular, serious topic. It has normal speech structure, but it's infused with humor so that it's just a lot of fun to listen to. I like to think of it as kind of like the John Olivers or the Trevor Noah from The Daily Show, the types of things that they do, where they're still speaking about a regular, serious subject. They're just doing it with a lot of humor and a lot of jokes. It's not stand-up comedy. It's a regular speech with speech structure that's just, has humor built into it. Next up, radio commentary. Radio is just what it sounds like. It's a speech written to be delivered like you would be listening to the radio. Now, this is appealing to a lot of beginning speech and debate students for a couple of reasons. First off, the judge does not look at you when you're speaking. For the judge, it's just like listening to the radio. They're only hearing what you have to say. The second key benefit here is that it doesn't have to be memorized. The judge isn't watching you. You're not standing up in front of anybody. You're reading a radio out of your script. This is a script written by you, 5 minutes in length. But just because of that, don't consider it super easy. You have to have that radio speaking ability. You have to have that cadence in your voice. You've got to be able to keep people interested in your topic through 5 minutes of not being able to see you visually. So there are challenges there. Topics, again, all over the place on whatever you consider newsworthy. But commentary, people are going to want to know what your opinion is on this particular subject. So remember, it's not just radio, it's radio commentary. Next is impromptu. Impromptu is a 5-minute speech. The only trick here is you only have 30 seconds to prepare, to pick your topic and to prepare your speech. The judge will hand you a slip of 3 possible topics. You pick the one you want, you prep it, and off you go. So you're speaking off the top of your head. You've got to know how to do it so that the speech actually makes sense to the judge. It's not just you rambling for 5 minutes. So there is a way to do it, but it's all done there on the spot. You are picking your topic, preparing, and giving your speech all within 30 seconds. And finally, on this particular category is extemporaneous speaking. In extemp, it's similar to impromptu in that you're preparing your speech on the fly. You just have 30 minutes to prepare your speech instead of 30 seconds. In extemporaneous, the judge is going to want a little more of a deep dive into a news type of topic, and they're going to want specific quotes from specific articles to back up your claims. What that means is you have to have a huge library on your iPad or your laptop of files for every news topic out there. You can't go online to search for things in extemp. It all has to be local to your device. So you end up building a huge collection of information over the course of the season. Finally, there are the acting events. There's 3 different acting events which are very similar to one another. There's humorous interpretation, dramatic interpretation, and dual interpretation. Each of these is kind of like a 10-minute acting monologue. Humorous interp obviously is going to be humorous in nature. These are funny. You're using different voices to tell the story. Dramatic is that. Dramatic. It's serious. You're going to hear about a lot of deep, dark issues in a dramatic interpretation round. It's the big acting, serious acting type of event. 10 minutes, memorized. Keep in mind, in these 3, humorous, dramatic, and duo, you're not writing the piece. You're finding a script. You're finding some sort of a source published material of something that you are performing. Duo is that same thing. 10-minute memorized, you're just doing it with a partner. So it's you going back and forth with your partner. Again, for each of these, look on the website for specific details and sample videos to give you a better sense of how this works and what this looks like. But 10 minutes memorized, can't use scripts. Next up is poetry. Now, poetry is a collection of poems. Typically, you usually do like 3 poems in a round. You have to explain how each of these poems goes along with a theme. You pick a theme, you find poems to go along with it, and perform it that way. Again, look for more information on poetry in the videos here on the site. Then there's program oral interp, or we call it POI or POI. Program oral interp, you're going to be preparing a program of a bunch of different media. So you could take this selection of a script here, this bit of a book here, this something from an advertising campaign here, song lyrics here, all sorts of different mediums to come up with your theme, present that theme through a variety of different media. Finally, there's prose, which is an 8-minute speech, which is also taken, this is more acting style. But instead of cutting out all of the narration, the he says, she says, so forth, you're keeping that in. It's kind of reading from a book, but done in a performance style way. So again, look for the sample videos, look for more of the deep dives to show you how to do each of these. But remember, you've got to come up with 2 of these events that you can try. Could be debate, could be public speaking, but you need to do 2 events in order to compete at a tournament. So go through, look at these events. There's lots of information on the website. There's samples of all of these so you can see what these look like in competition rounds. Pick two, let me know what those are, and I can help you along the way. Remember, if you have questions about these events, make sure to email me at sbarth@marisths.net, and I'm glad to help wherever I can. But that's the speech and debate events in a quick overview.